Today's December 21st, 2021. We'll be reading out of Romans chapter 13. And it states, "Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists the ordinance of God, and those who resist will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Do you want to be unafraid of the authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise from the same. For he is God's minister to you for good. But if you do evil, be afraid. For he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is God's minister, an avenger to execute wrath on him who practices evil. Therefore, you must be subject, not only because of wrath, but also for conscience sake. For because of this, you also pay taxes, for they are God's ministers, attending continually to this very thing. Render, therefore, to all their due, taxes to whom taxes are due, customs to whom customs, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. Owe no one anything except to love one another. For he who loves another has fulfilled the law. For he who loves another has fulfilled the law. For the commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not covet, and if there is any other commandment, are all summed up in this saying, namely, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law." So what do we love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. So when you see the authorities acting out without love, without just do you continue to do as they would have you do? Do they have your best interest in their eye? It's really crazy because the guy that I watch in the mornings, I was actually opened. I had prayed first. The Holy Spirit would lead me and guide me this morning. And I opened up my Bible and I turned over here to Romans chapter 13. And the brother that I listened to in the morning was in Romans chapter 13. By chance? We are living in a day where our rulers, our authority has taken a turn. Lawlessness is increasing, as the Bible would state that it will in the last days. The just authorities are no longer just. And I've seen that in my life. In 2006, I have my first two kids that I had to give up unwillingly. And I did so for the best of their interest. Hasn't been easy. Many early mornings for me since 2006. But I have to swallow it. Not easy. Not easy at all. But we can't control everything. We know the one that's in control of everything, even though sometimes it seems like he's not. You guys be blessed. God over everything. Jesus is my King. We are the resistance. James chapter 4, verse 7. Let's go read it real quick. And it reads, "Therefore submit to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Resist the enemy." How do you know who the enemy is? Well, they don't have your best interest in mind, whether it be authorities or not. Something to think about. I like verse 8 too. It says, "Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." Verse 9, "Lament and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to gloom." Verse 10, "Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up." Not easy. especially for men. It's not easy for men to humble themselves. But it's doable.